Okay, good morning, everybody. As we go to the chitas of today, we are holding on chapter 13, verse number 24. And we're holding right now in the middle of the laws of Tzeras. And the pasuk now gives us another kind of tzeras, different kinds of tzeras. Verse 24. If a person's flesh has a michvas esh, a fire, a burnt, he has a fire burn on his skin. And on the healed area of the burn, there's a reddish white or a white baheres. So there's a tzeras growing in the midst of this burn. Now she says when the burn healed, the area changed to become a blended baheres of a white and red kind of a growth. The sign of a burn, michveh, and a sign of an inflammation, shchin, are the same. If so, why does the scripture separate them into two sections to teach us that they did not become combined with each other? Well, a gris, an area of a bean, is the minimum surface area of a lesion, for it's deemed to be unclean. If a lesion is a sign of a half a gris, emerges in an inflammation, and the size of a half a gris in a burn, then they are not judged as they're full gris. So if there's one next to each other, the concept of a burn or a shchin, and they each have in halacha gris, like a dime. It's like the size of a dime, I believe. Here's the area of a bean. Which bean? The size like of a dime. That's a gris. So it has to be the shchin, the makkah to be the baheres to be the size of a gris, and they do not unite with another. So half a gris on this side and a half a gris on that side would not establish. That's what the Torah wants to tell us this law. If the kohen will see it, being a nepach say a love, and again, one of the signs of a leprosy is tzeras, is this leprosy, is when there is white hair, always white hair, in the beheres, in the white skin. And the appearance is deeper than the skin. Tzerasi, that is a tzeras. It's spread in the burn. And then the kohen would make this person tamein nega tzerasi. This is a nega tzeras. If the guy is going to show it to the kohen, and let's see that there's no white here in the white, in this white patch. Ushvela, and also it's not it's not deeper. The coloring is not more deeper than the skin. It's a little dimmish kind of a color. And the kohen will put him away for 7 days. And then the kohen will look at it to the 7th day. If it has spread in the skin, the kohen will nevertheless make him tummy. This teaches any growth in a tzeras will automatically make a person tummy. But if the baheres, this patch of white, remains in its place, it did not increase on the skin, and it is still dim, A michvahi. This is a burn. This is a scab that's happening in a burn. This is part of the healing of the burn. And the kohen will make him tar, will purify, say that he's pure. Because it's a scar tissue in the burn. So tzarevis is the what we mentioned in Rashi before. Tzarevis is the crinkling of the skin. So this is a scarring of the skin. The guy got a burn, and now because of the burn, his skin is becoming scarred. And that completes the Chumash of today. We now go to the Tanya of the day. So the previous chapter, the Alter Rebbe explained why our sages compared the performance of a mitzvah to a body and one's kavanah in performing a mitzvah to the soul. Stated that kavanah became classified into two categories, analogous to the two classes of creatures which possesses in a soul, the animal and the man. The higher level of kavanah is that it created by the intellectual appreciation of God upon contemplating God's greatness. A love and fear of him is born in one's heart, which translates into a desire to cleave. This desire is in turn motivated ones to fulfill Torah mitzvahs, since they bind him to God. And this motivated kavanah is a fulfillment of Torah mitzvahs. Such kavanah, born of reason and produced by one's own volition, is analogous to the soul of man, the intelligent being who determines his action by choice. That's what makes him a human being. That makes him, he has free choice. That's why the expression, Ein lo ben Torah, there's no person, Ein lo ben chayrin, there's no free person, but a person that learns Torah. Because anything else that you're choosing it now through your animal soul. If you're not choosing it through your godly soul, then you're choosing it for your animal soul, which is your instinct. And basically, the second it's your instinct, it's not your choice. Choice is only through your godly soul. The lower level of kavanah is in which it stands from the arousal of the soul's natural soul, instinctive love and fear of God. Such kavanah is compared to the soul of an animal, which is ruled by his natural instincts. So we are naturally good people. We are naturally God-loving people. We are naturally honest. We are naturally, that's what we are. The Eibishter created us naturally good. So even the goodness, as Alter Rebbe said in the beginning of Tanya, even the goodness that we have in our life is not because we chose it, because we are naturally good. So even our nefesh habahamis, our animalistic soul, is also good. That's why our animalistic soul comes from klipat noga, which has within it good and bad. So we are naturally good. That we choose to be good spiritually, that's where you have your choice. The Alter Rebbe now opens up chapter 39. This is more a Kabbalistic chapter by stating, for this reason, angels. We're going to go a little bit into the angels. Angels who fear and love God by their very nature are also called animals. That's why we call animals, that's what we call angels in the Torah, and you see it in the davening, we call them like animals because they have only instinct. They don't have choice. The second you don't have choice, you are basically in the concept of an animal, not in a negative, in a positive way. The animal has, the Eibishter created the animal with instinct, and he lives on his instinct. So too, angels were created with instinct of love and fear of God, and that's what they do. And we also have an instinct, a nefesh habahamis, which is an instinct of doing good, also an instinct of doing bad. but we're talking the good side, and we have an instinct even to love God. Our animal soul has an ava misoteres that is basal instinctual. We have an instinct of love of the Eibishter. And it's not free, and that's against our free choice. It's not our choice. That's what's given to us. It's inherited to us. So now we start off chapter 39. And for therefore, according to what I explained before in chapter 38, that's why even angels are called chayes, beasts, or behemoths and animals. And how do we know that? Because it's brought down in the prophecy of Ezekiel that everybody, when the Kabbalistic teachings, we talk about the chariot, which Ezekiel saw in his Nevuah. And he said, when he was talking about the angels, he said, I saw the face of a lion to the right, divine chariot, the Merkava, which talks about the chariot of God, and the face of an ox to the left. Why would the Torah call angels animals? The reason is because they don't have free choice. The only entity that was given free choice is man. Man. That's why it says, let us make God in our image. The Eibishter, so to say, has free choice. And so too God gave man free choice. But an angel, even an angel, his love and fear of God is his instinct. As is brought down in Kabbalah and the portion of Pinchas. Therefore, tzaddikim, the greatness of righteous people, are greater than angels. They are ultimately greater than angels. Why does Alter Rebbe say tzaddikim? Because the problem is most of us fall into the category of animals, like the angels. So we're not greater than them. Tzaddikim who use their free choice and they do their service with their nefesh elokis, with their godly soul, are greater than angels. Because it's brought down that the abode of the souls of tzaddikim is ba'olam habriya, is in the world of creation, while moda malachim ba'olam hayitzira, while the world of angels is in the world of formation. So in the four worlds of creation, the world of emanation, Atzilus, then the world of creation, the world of Bria, the world of Yitzira, the world of formation, and then you have the world of Asiyah. So the tzaddikim on the world of creation, the malachim on the world of formation. Now most of us, our souls will reach in Gan Eden to the world of creation, of the world of Asiyah. This is only out there in the Haggah, in the appendix. This is only in the case of the ordinary angels. There is certain angels in the world of creation who serve God with intellect, and they haven't. There are certain malachim that in Kabbalah explain that they also have intellect, and they abide in the world of Bria. Because as is brought down in Kabbalah, that there are two levels of angels, and tivim v'sichlim, that there are certain angels that do have also the level of intellect, and there are certain and angels that don't. So in angels, Alter Rebbe gives the Haggah, depending that. So the abode of ordinary angels, however, in the world of Alter Rebbe, in general, angels are in the world of Yitzira. and they are thus lower than the souls of tzaddikim, whose abode in Bria. The Alter Rebbe now explains how intellectual created love and fear are related to Bria, and instinctive love of fear is Yetzirah. So every entity has their abode, and the abode of the righteous, those who choose intellectually to love God, not because of the ultimately they have the capability to reach up to the world of Bria, the world of creation. Well, most of us don't reach up to that level. So the Alter Rebbe explains this according to Kabbalah and Chassidus. What's the difference between Bria and Tzira? In the world of formation, over there, see the worlds, Atzilus, the world of Atzilus is called the world of emanation. In Hebrew and Aramaic, actually, Atzilus means the closest to God. So there, when you're closer to the source, then the individuality is not seen that much. Over there, the worlds are spiritual. So they are, as brought down in Kabbalah, they are made up of 10 spheres. Each of these worlds are made up of 10 sfirot, 3 intellectual and 7 emotional. So the question is, when you are closer to the source, then the emotions are more intermingled. As they go away from the source, then each and every one of them, their emotions are more revealed. So in the world of Bria, the emotions are more intellectual, and therefore they're more united. As they come into Yetzirah, the world of formation, that's why it's called Yetzirah, formation, because over there we can see each and every sphera by itself. So over there we see the sphera Chesed, the attribute of kindness, we see it by itself. And therefore you have the malachim of kindness. And the attribute of Gevura, we see it by itself. And that's why over there you see the malachim of Gevura. As is brought out in the Zohar, the shit sphira mekane b'yitzira, that the 6 spheres, 6 midas for chesed to Yesod, nest, pervade in the world of Yitzira. So to get a little Kabbalistic, let's learn it. Why not? The 4 partsufim, countenance, configuration of spheres, are spheres of Atzilus, the world of emanation. Radiates the 4 worlds of Atzilus, Bri, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. 1 partsuf predominates in each world, representing the manifestation of God in that world. Listen to this, very, very beautiful. The parts of is a face are Chachma, Bina, Zeir Ampim, small images, and Malchus, sovereignty. Atzilus, in the world of emanation, Chachma, the face is Chachma. Atzilus that pervades wisdom, thus pervaded with an atmosphere of utter self-nullification before God. Chachma, dominant influence in that world, represents the perception of Ein Sof alone. That's it. And there's naught beside it. So in the world of Atzilus, it's one with God. And that's how Kabbalah explains that Moshe Rabbeinu comes from the world of Atzilus. His neshama. That's why Moshe Ish Elokim, he's a man of God. Vayaminu b'Hashem u'b'Moshe Avdei. And you get the belief in Hashem. Moshe is like one with the Eibishter. And that's why the Torah says, spoke to face with God. No other prophet did that. Because Moshe Rabbeinu had an neshama of Atzilus. If you understand what Atzilus is, you understand this concept. We know the Alter Rebbe, when he started to say the word of Atzilus, he got stuck by the Atzi. He couldn't say the word of Atzilus. Because the Alter Rebbe knew the word of Atzilus. He couldn't even say it, the word. Because it's such a level of unbelievable unity with God. that everything, there's nothing but the Eibishter there, God there. Bria is also called the world of the throne. What does that mean? The throne is Bina, is dominant parts. The face of the world of Bria is the world. That's where creation started. Where does creation start? In the world of understanding. Bria is therefore a world of intellect. It's Bina, it's intellect. The souls, and therefore that's why tzaddikim who have Bina, who have understanding, are in the world of Bria, because they take their chachma, they take the world of Atzilus, whatever they can glean from it, and they bring it, push it into their understanding. They push it, bring it down to their level of understanding. And that's why their souls reach up to the world of Bria, are distinguished by superior intellectual appreciation of godliness, Bina, understanding. How much can you understand in godliness? That's why even in Bria, we have levels of tzaddikim. And other Tanoim, there are even in understanding, there are in many levels. And not all intermingle in one entity. In the world of Yitzira, is a nation, there is dominant Midas, which together constitute the parts of Zeir Anpin. That's why in Kabbalah it's called small faces. It is therefore the world of emotion. And which is the world of emotion? That's the world of angels. And also you can have neshamas of Yidden that are mainly dominated by emotion. The creatures of the world of Yetzirah serve God with great emotional intensity. It's not so intellectual, it's more emotional. And then you have Asiya. The lowest world is domination, the parts of Malchus. God's attribute of sovereignty evokes subservience to the sovereign. That's pshitus, the simple sovereignty. Acceptance, the yoke of heaven. Therefore, it serves God in our service of God in this world. Emphasis is on accepting the yoke of heaven. If we don't have emotion, if we don't have intellect, we have Kabbalah. And that is the lowest level. We have acceptance, the yoke of heaven, and that's which we all ultimately, through our avodah in this world, our neshama will reach up to Gan Eden, the world of Asiyah. But this is a beautiful expression or explanation of how ultimately these worlds work, and where every entity fits, whether it's the angels or tzaddikim, v'amech kulam tzaddikim. That's why it says, it's brought down on Shabbos, all neshamas go to the world of Bria. All neshamas have a day in the world of Bria, in the world of tzaddikim. V'amech kulam tzaddikim. So all neshamas ultimately, every Shabbos, go to the world to have a weekend in paradise, in true paradise, in the world of Bria. And then after Shabbos, the neshamas have to go back to wherever the world they're in, whichever level their service of God was in this world. So if the service of God was in, like the tzaddikim, they stay in the world of Bria. If the service of God was totally emotional, they go back to the world of Tzira. If the service of God was in this world, basically Kabbalah sale, they had no intellect, they had no emotions, they go to the world of Asiyah in God. And that's what we always say on a yortzei, you should have aliyas haneshama, because the neshama does develop itself even in Gan Eden, not only in this world, but the neshama develops itself in Gan Eden, and it goes up a level by level. It continues to journey in Gan Eden itself, and that's what we can actually in this world give the capability for the neshama also to go to a higher plane in Gan Eden, in paradise. Now going back to the angels, therefore, this is the service of the angels continuously. That's their consistent. They never stop. Angels never stop because that's their total focus. To sit day and night in fear of God. Means all the camp of Gavriel to the left. Left represents the midah of Gevura, which evokes fear and awe. All angels stand in constant fear of God, 24/7. And then you have the camp of Michael, the angels of Michael, the Ava. That to the right, they're standing always in Ava. They don't take vacations, they're 24/7. So to the souls. And a shaman that goes Lamaila, after 120 years, sits 20, there's no time and there's no time in Lamaila, there's no rest, there's no going, there's a constant avodas Hashem. They're constant 24/7 in the service of HaKadosh Baruch. Thus, because the midas constitute the domination of parts of Yetzirah, the service of the creatures of Yetzirah consists of emotion. But now you go to Gan Eden, where souls should go to. Souls should reach up to the world of Bria. They shouldn't just reach up to the world of Yetzirah. Souls should reach up to the world of Bria, because that's why the Gemara says, great is a person who comes here with his study in his hand, his Talmud biyadai, the learning of Torah in his hands, because then he has the capability to go higher than angels. Because he wants to reach up to the world of Bria, world of creation. Because over there, what shines over there? Over there in the world of Bria shines the Chabad. Chachma Bina Das, Shal Ein Sof Baruch Hu of God, Shem Makar Midas, which is the source of emotions. Ve'ein Shorish Lahem, it is their mother and root of theirs. So a Yid wants to reach up to the source, the wisdom. The Eimei Ilah, as it's brought in Tikkunim, Eimei Ilah, the supernal mother. What's the supernal mother in Kabbalah? Is Bina. Describe the mother of the world of Atzilus. Nest radiates in the throne, meaning in the world of Bria, which three spheres of Atzilus, Chachma, Bina, Das. So the mother, so Atzilus is the father. In symbolic, he's the giver, and Bina is the mother, the receiver, and that's the two worlds. Atzilus and Bria are interconnected, because Atzilus is what gives Bria its whole concept. So if you're in the world of a Bria, ultimately, which you bring down the Chachma, the Chabad, Chachma Bina Dasa, the world of Atzilus, into the world of Bria, into the world of creation, now you automatically have Ava and Yira. But it comes to intellect. It's not this basic instinct Ava Yira, which God gives you. It's your intellect that created this Ava and Yira. And that's why it is the portal, the place of tzaddikim. That serve God with love and fear, but their love and fear come on shachas mebina das. Their love and fear come through wisdom, through their understanding. They come through their understanding and their knowledge in the greatness of God. This Ava is called the heart's desire, a desire created by the intellect, opposed to a desire that transcends intellect, as mentioned above. We are looking for the Ava that comes through one's choice and one's intellect, one's choice to sit and learn, one's choice to choose learning and to never stop learning and keep on growing in the knowledge of God. And from our Usa the Liba in this world, that we created through our intellect, Nasel in the Vush, the Neshama, Ba'ilam Abriya. That became a garment for the soul in the world of Briya. Because you have to understand something. As Chassidus says, that really your Neshama will lose itself in Gan Eden. So how does the Neshama continue to exist in the radiance of God? The Neshama needs a lavush. The Neshama needs a garment. That's like a vessel. The Neshama needs a vessel so that I should be able to receive the radiance of God above. And that's what I create in this world. What I create in this world is the garment. So when I come Lamaila, when the Neshama comes Lamaila, it should be able to go to the Olam Abriya. Should be able to go to the world of creation and receive the radiance and the beauty of God's wisdom. Shu Gan Eden Elyon, which is the higher level of Gan Eden. Olam Abriya is a Gan Eden Elyon. There's Gan Eden Atachten, there's the lower level of Gan Eden, and there's Gan Eden Elyon, the higher level of Gan Eden. The higher level of Gan Eden is Olam Habriya. That's you'll see. Again, I mentioned you'll see. It says on Shabbos, all neshamas have a chance to go. All go to Gan Eden Elyon. Over there, they sit and they bask in the glory of all the great neshamas of the Olam Habriya, and they all enjoy the limit HaTorah. Problem is, after Shabbos, they have to go back to their station. Which was brought down the Zohar in the portion of Yaakov. So ultimately, souls of those who serve God with intellect and love and fear are privileged to abide in the higher Gan Eden in the world of Bria. The reward given the Gan Eden paradise is that the soul's delight in the radiance of the Shekhinah. Meaning, they delight in their perception of God's glory. Since one's reward is commensurated with the level of the divine service in this world, the delight in intellectual perception of godliness is reserved for the souls who serve God with intellect, love, and fear during their lifetime on this earth. At this point, the Alter Rebbe qualifies his earlier statement that only those tzaddikim whose souls are on the level of the neshama, the highest level of the three levels of the soul, nefesh, ruach, neshama, abide in bria. Neshama represents meichin the gadlus. Again, we're going back to what we learned, that the concept of meditation, the aspect of meditation on God is to meichin the gadlus, is to broaden your brain. We need to broaden our horizons in our intellect, not to have a tunnel vision, but to have a brei to cook, to have a broaden of mind, which is called the concept of meichin the gadlus, superior intellectual grasp in godness. Those at the level of the neshama understand godness directly as it is, without recourse to an analogy or to an anthropomorphic terms. That's when the neshama of a Jew, because the neshama is into the three levels of the neshama which come into every person: nefesh, ruach, neshama. Nefesh is the closest to his humanity. Ruach is his emotions, and neshama is his intellect. So when you have meichin de gadlus, when you give your soul a broader understanding, you contemplate and you meditate and you learn and I give my neshama the capability to think. So then the love and fear follows from such a direct understanding of godliness is a natural extension. They are not products of intellect, a generation removed. In this case, in fact, the emotions may be considered as part of the intellectual process rather than emotion proper. So this is what the tzaddikim, they also have the chilul rechima. They also have love and fear of God, but it's totally connected to their intellect. However, this statement, that the abode of tzaddikim, who serve God with intellect, love, and fear in the world of Yitzhira, applies only to those souls which are actually on the level of neshama. The level of neshama being that of intellect, as the verse states, divine neshama will give them discernment. Shehein moichin de gadlus, which represents the superior intellectual perception of the Ein Sof. So this is important because in concept we had a wonderful class in meditation, but that's because meditation, the aspect of meditation and contemplation is bonus, is boidedus. It's very deep and extremely focused intellectual understanding of God. And that's only, not everybody even has the capability, as we learned, to be able to have true isbonenus, true meditation. That's why we might run to other meditations, because to have meditation, true meditation, the aspect of godliness, it takes a lot of work. But it will work that will give us great, great rewards. The more we can meditate and contemplate on God, the more it's going to be, first of all, it'll open up our mind. It'll give us true freedom. That's why there's no true freedom in your brain. Your mind is usually bonded by your emotions. If you want true freedom, it's truly to contemplate and to broaden your mind on the greatness of God. But tzaddikim whose level is on ruach, they're emotional, more emotional than intellectual. And similarly to other souls of Israel, which serve God with love and fear of God, but they serve it not even with emotions, they serve it with their hidden emotion. They don't serve it with intellect. They did not go to the world of Bria like B'Shabbos. They go to the world of Bria only on Shabbos. When all creation ascends to the higher level, as it's written, every month on the new moon, and every week on the new Shabbos, all flesh will come prostrate itself before me. It is only then that these souls are sent to the world of Bria, the highest garden in Gan Eden. This is one of the powers of this Shabbos. The Shabbos is Chodesh, and it's Shabbos. It's not only that, Shabbos HaChodesh. This Shabbos is a very powerful Shabbos. It has within it all things. It has within it the first, it's Shabbos. It is Rosh Chodesh. And is it a chodesh of the first month of the year, in the month of Nisan. And so it's the Shabbos that we're going to take out 3 Sefer Torahs, because it's 3 entities in one situation. So it's a very powerful Shabbos, this Shabbos. It's a very powerful Shabbos in this world because it's a very powerful Shabbos in Gan Eden. Because it has within it, in Gan Eden also, these 3 entities, it has a Chodesh and Shabbos in the same time. and it's the first Pashas HaChodesh. Chodesh Hazeh Lachem Reish Chadashim. This is the first. This Shabbos is the day of the first day of the month of the year. In the months, there's Chodeshnis. Through the pillar which extends from the lower Gan Eden, from Yitzira, to the higher Gan Eden, the world of Bria, which is called the higher Gan Eden. So on Shabbos, all the Shabbos are transported into the world of Bria. They send into the world of Bria to delight in God and bask in the radiance of the Shekhinah. So that's why Shabbos is a delight in this world, and Shabbos is a delight in the world to come. Such a pleasure is the prerogative of the souls of Bria, since the soul's delight is from its understanding and appreciation of godliness to the extent that a soul can understand. The intellect of the created being delights and derives pleasure. What he understands, what he grasps in his intellect and understanding. Because that's true pleasure. True pleasure is intellectual pleasure. So even though you have a lot of worldly pleasures, but they're momentarily, the pleasure for the moment. But a true pleasure, something that will last forever, is an intellectual pleasure. The more I have intellect, even the intellectual pleasure in the thing that I'm in the physical thing. What gives me my true pleasure in something of physical? Because I have intellectual pleasure in it. I see the intellectual, everything is in the mind. Especially when that's what, so you understand this concept, pleasure, everything's in the mind. So surely the pleasure of my understanding of godliness is what the pleasure, it's what my pleasure is in this world, in godliness, and what my pleasure is going to be in the world to come. What every person can grasp, understand, from the light of God, through his wisdom and understanding, which ultimately will shine to him on Shabbos in the world of creation. Enabling the soul to perceive godliness, for as mentioned earlier, the Chabad of Atzilus, to which the Alter Rebbe refers to his wisdom, his understanding, God's wisdom, radiates in the world of Bria, for which reason Bria is the world of understanding. With this, the Alter Rebbe concludes his statement that on Shabbos and Chodesh, the souls of other Jews who have not served God with intellect and affairs ascend to the world of Bria. The question is, these souls who serve God with natural fear are privileged. They're given us chus. Even a simple soul that didn't serve God with intellect, serve God only with emotions, they go higher than Allah. The Eibishter gives them a schus to go higher than angels on Shabbos. And there's Chodesh. Why would God give these neshamas of Jews that did not serve God with the world of creation? Why would God give them this merit? Even though they only serve God with love and fear of the natural, they should stay always in the world of Yitzhak, like angels. So if we didn't reach up higher than angels, why do we merit on Shabbos to go higher than angels? The Alter Rebbe says, because ultimately we're higher than angels, even if we only serve God with a natural love and fear. And why? Because through our love and fear of God, even natural love and fear of God, we subdued the body. We changed the world. Even with our natural soul, we have changed the world. Not like an angel. We did a skafi and a sapcha. We transformed ourselves, our own darkness, and we transformed the world's darkness, even though we did it not because of intellect. We did it only because of our natural instinct. Whether it's in the concept of going away from evil, to break our desires, to crush them, again, not because great intellect, but just because we want to be Jews. And we have a natural love to God. Or whether it's in the realm of doing good, that we broke all boundaries. We broke our Nefesh HaBahamis, we broke our Taivus, we broke our Yetzirah, we broke everything to serve the Eibush, to do a mitzvah. So we went far more greater than Malachim. Every Jew over here in this world is greater than any angel. Because we had choice. And even though we only used our natural instinct to choose the right thing, that's unbelievable. And we have free choice. To choose evil. And we didn't choose evil. We choose good. And by choosing good, we subdued our Sitra Achra, our other side. We brought godliness to the world. As I said, as I mentioned before. So thus, although these souls serve God as angels do, with love and fear of natural, not intellectual, so you think that we're no greater than angels? Yet this service ranks higher than that of an angel. For the soul acted out of free choice, while the angel is a creature compulsive, totally has no free choice. Therefore, it's occasionally granted to a soul, unlike an angel, to rise higher to Gan Eden of Bria. That's why the Eivishter gives every neshama on Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh is Aliyah to go to the world of Bria. And that's why we reach up higher than any soul could have ever reached, any angel could have ever reached. In the following paragraph, the Alter Rebbe will differentiate between the respective stations of the souls, on one hand, and the divine service, actual Torah mitzvahs that the soul studied and observed on the other hand. For before examining his words, introduction is in order. Although we spoke about spheres in each of the four worlds, it must nevertheless be understood that spheres of each world do not constitute that world itself. The spheres, these 10 manifestations, represent rather the godliness inherited in each world, its divine life force. The world itself, on the other hand, is a yesh, a separate being, which comes about through the spheres. So it gets a little Kabbalistic. The significance of this distinction with regard to our discussion is as follows. The Alter Rebbe spoke above about the abode of the souls, either in the world of Yetzirah, which most souls can reach up to the world of Yetzirah, or the world of Bria, depending on the level of the divine service. The emphasis here on the word worlds. The soul's abode in the worlds of Bria and the worlds of Yetzirah also ascribe to the echolas, the chambers of these worlds, not in the sphere of these worlds. They abide in the world. They receive their energy from the sphere. They receive the glory from the sphere. They're living in a world. Why is Alter Rebbe want to say that? Because ultimately, the soul's divine service, on the other hand, are sent to the spheres of the appropriate world. This means, in effect, that it is absorbed in Ein Sof. So you have the soul and you have the avodah of the soul. In fact, the soul's reward in Gan Eden, described before as pleasure of basking in the radiance of the Shekhinah, is actually the radiance of Torah mitzvah that the person observed while that's his reward. That's why it says char mitzvah mitzvah. The Ein Sof, the oil of God that I brought down in the world in the present time is that oil that I will receive in Gan Eden, which ascended to the supernal spheres. So that's why when I do a mitzvah in this world, I bring about a revelation of God in the spheres of Atzilus, and it comes down into the spheres of Bria, and it comes down into the spheres of Yetzirah, it comes down into the spheres of Asiyah, and ultimately comes down to this world. And that's what I have in the upper worlds. And that's what I bask in, so to say, in the upper worlds. So in this world, I actually don't see the earth. I don't see the light in this world. But there was a light that emanated from the world of Atzilus, from the world of emanation. This light emanated till this world. And that's what I'm going to continue to grow. My neshama, our neshamas, after 120 years, I'm going to continue to bask in this light that I generated, that each and every one of us generated in this world. And that's why we'll continue this neshamas, continue to have aliyah from level to level in the light that they created. So that's what the Alter Rebbe says. All the aforementioned said, whatever I said before, concerning the abode and the station of the souls. The Rebbe notes station. The Rebbe, this is the Rebbe, not the Alter Rebbe. The Rebbe notes. See, that's the told you before. Here, the Rebbe made his own notes on Rabbi Weinberg's way he interpreted the Tanya. The Rebbe notes station is not necessarily synonymous with abode. A soul who abodes in the Yetzirah may rise periodically on Shabbos and is later to a temporary station of Bria, as said above. So it's the way how you express what means a mother station. But the Torah and divine service, nechlalis mamish, they don't abode. The Torah is living in those spheres. Our Torah and mitzvahs are not just, they are the illumination of the sphere. The Torah and divine service, however, are actually absorbed in the 10 sfirot, which are manifest of godliness, in which each with the Ein Sof light unites in perfect unity. So the Ein Sof radiates in each world is completely unified with the spheres of that world. So again, you need to separate between the soul and its avodah, between the soul and its mitzvah. The soul is in a place, but it receives its hana from the radiation of God's in that the 10 sfirot of that world. Who created the 10 sfirot of that world? I, each and every one of us, by bringing godliness down through our learning, through our davening, through our mitzvahs. We brought down on Eir Hashem, whether we see it or not. At this present time, ultimately we will bask in its glory. But ultimately, in whether my neshama is going to be in the world of its tzira, the world of formation, or even the world of asiyah, ultimately that Eir Hashem all came from the world of Atzilus. within the spheres of Bri Yitzira, are clothed in the 10 spheres of the world of emanation, Atzilus, and they are completely united with them. The spheres of Atzilus are clothed in it and completely united with it. The spheres of Bri Yitzira. The Yud spheres of Atzilus and the 10 spheres of Atzilus, Chedes, Betachlis, B'Matzilon, Ein Sof Baruch, they're united with the emanator, which is God. Thus, it follows then that ascending to the spheres of Bri Yitzira, the soul's Torah and divine service actually unite with Ein Sof, and there it radiates, and that's why the neshama receives its reward in these levels. But stand instead in the chambers and abode of Bri Yitzira, which the worlds of Bri Yitzira, separate beings that are not united with God, as are the spheres. And that's what we bask in. We don't bask in the world. We are in the world, but we bask in the light of God that emanates in each of these worlds. And we enjoy, the soul is delights in the radiance of the Shekhinah, who in Sof Baruch Hu, which is the light of God, which came into Yud Sfiras, the Bri Yitzira, that united with this 10 Sfirot of in the world of Bria, which is the world of creation, which is the station or the abode of the angel of tzaddikim, or in the world of Yitzira, which is the place of souls, the rest of the souls who serve God with a natural love and fear of God, and with angels. And this radiance that they enjoy is actually their Torah and their mitzvahs that they did in this world. Ischar mitzvah atzma, because the reward of the mitzvah is the mitzvah. Our reward of the mitzvah is the mitzvah, is the godliness that came down into the worlds, and the ray of the Eibishter, we connected God with these, became part of the God himself, which is the ultimate reward that you can have. A ray, let's finish this off, a ray issuing from the mitzvah that are performed and become united with Ein Sof, with God, shines forth upon tzaddikim in Gan Eden. It's revelation on this ray that delights the souls. From this we may catch a glimpse into the stature of a mitzvah formed in this world. From a mere glimmer of light radiated by a mitzvah, a soul in paradise derives pleasure so exquisite that, as our sages say, all suffering of purgatory and suffering to acute that one moment is even worse than the enduring 70 years of Job's affliction, is worthwhile so long as it enables one to subsequently experience the bountiful delight of paradise. That's why Gehenna, right? Gehenna, which is a terrible place, terrible situation. It's not a place. Gehenna is a situation. Gehenna is a terrible situation, a great pain. But the Eibush doesn't give Gehenna if not there's a positive thing after it. That's why it's worth the Gehenna. If you need to go through Gehenna, it's worth it for the glory of God that you will receive afterwards. In fact, when the souls went in paradise to apprehend the essence of the mitzvah instead of the ray of it, it would expire, it would dissolve out of existence into the intensity of the light. This is the meaning of the Mishnah. Better 1 hour of repentance and good deeds in this world than all the life in the world to come. For in the world to come, the soul has only a glimmer of light of a mitzvah. Where in this world we have the essence of the mitzvah, where we are united with God himself. The soul's greatest pleasure in paradise is due only to its clear perception of the ray of light given off by the mitzvah. A perception that we lack in this physical world. Wherever the Mishnah concludes, better 1 hour of bliss in the world to come than all of the life of this world. Better even the bliss of the fulfillment of a mitzvah in this world. For the true bliss can be experienced only in paradise, where the soul actually perceives and grasps the godliness of Torah and mitzvahs. So again, the Alter Rebbe wants to emphasize that ultimately, what is great about Gan Eden? What's great about Gan Eden is what you're gonna see, what you do in this world. Because what are you going to receive in Gan Eden is what you did in this world. So what you did in this world will be in Gan Eden on a greater way. You'll see the ray of that mitzvah. You'll see the glory of that mitzvah. You'll see the godliness in that mitzvah. So you better do a mitzvah. And that's what's important. So even though the bliss, it's better a bliss in Gan Eden more than all the life in this world. But at the same moment, it's better a mitzvah in this world than all the life in the world to come, because the mitzvah is going to give you your bliss. And without the mitzvah, you're not going to have any ray of godliness in the world to come. So that's why it's better one mitzvah in this world than all the ray in the world to come, because you won't have a ray in the world to come without this mitzvah. Okay, my friends, that finished. That completed the Tanya today. Fascinating, truly fascinating. Tanya of the Alter Rebbe. As somebody wrote over here, the chapter give you a lifetime of study. Surely it could be, and you surely should learn this Tanya again today. Don't just do it one time. If you do it a couple times, listen to the Alter Rebbe. It is mind-boggling, mind-opening, and a whole different transformation of thought. Today, my friends, is the 27th day of the month, which Tillim is chapter 120 to 134. 120 to 134, the 15 chapters of Shir Amales of King David. You'll say those 15 chapters, 120 to 134, and you would have done the chitas of the day. I wish you a wonderful, beautiful, happy, healthy, phenomenal day. See you all tomorrow. Continue the chitas of the day.